YouTube, it's Janarissa back with another video, and today, in honor of May being Mental Health Awareness Month, I am going to go through Mental Health First Aid 101. So, similarly to how you can do CPR and first aid training for someone's physical health in case their heart stops and you need to pump for them in order to keep their heart pumping blood throughout their body until emergency help can come to the scene. Mental health first aid provides support to individuals who are experiencing mental health crises and gives them in the moment attention until they can get to a professional. So there is the opportunity to be trained as a mental health first aider. I previously was a mental health first aid trainer. So when I worked at UMBC, I was trained to become a trainer and trained a lot of individuals within the campus community to be mental health first aid ready to address any mental health crises that came about on campus. So, a little bit about the program. It is an 8-hour course, and essentially, you will go and there's interactive components where you can practice the different activities and how to start conversations with someone you suspect is going through a mental health crisis, and then gives you the resources necessary to provide to this person or who to call in the event that they need more serious attention. It's better to always err on the side of caution than to just leave it alone and assume that everything's okay. Topics covered within mental health first aid include depression and mood disorders, anxiety, trauma, psychosis, and substance use disorders. So that may catch some people off guard, including substance use disorders within things related to mental health. But we find that a lot of times those two things are connected, and a lot of people have co-occurring diagnoses of substance use disorders as well as some mental health disorder. So addressing them at the same time is often beneficial for the people that we work with in our communities. The mental health first aid course includes an action plan, and that action plan is called ALGIE, which is an acronym that I'll go through. There is a stuffed koala that's included within this course, and we look at this koala as the, I guess, face of mental health first aid. I actually have one right here on my bookshelf from when I led those courses. This is Algie, and he is the koala that advocates for mental health first aid. So we'll go through the acronym and tell you exactly what that means. So the A stands for assess for risk of suicide or harm. This is essentially asking questions of the person that you assume is having a mental health crisis. So you're asking how they're feeling, what they're thinking. You can flat out ask them. It's actually better to flat out ask them if they are considering harming themselves. Are they considering suicide? And it's important to make a distinction between the two and ask both, because just because someone is feeling like they want to harm themselves and experience pain doesn't necessarily mean that their intention is to kill themselves. So there is that small distinction between the two, and that's helpful to keep in mind when you're having the conversation. When you're assessing risk of harm, this is also paying close attention to their behaviors. So are they more anxious than normal? Are they sleeping a lot more than normal? Are they withdrawing when they typically engage very frequently? Also, have they increased substance use? So drinking more, taking drugs that they don't usually take. That could be a warning sign that they need intervention. Step 2 is the L, and that stands for listen non-judgmentally. I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but we want to make sure that when we are listening to the things that people are telling us about their mental health and how they're feeling, that we are listening without judgment, not inserting our opinions into what they're saying, telling them that they don't have anything to be stressed about, or that you shouldn't want to harm yourself what good would that do? Like, that's not helpful to that person in that moment. So making sure that you're actually listening, actively listening, taking in the information, and not making matters worse. Step 3 is for the G, and that's give reassurance and information. So making sure that you're validating how they feel and then giving them necessary information to move forward is always helpful. Make sure that you're always approaching someone with respect and dignity. There's nothing worse than someone coming into this situation making the person feel worse than they did before. So reassuring them that everything is going to be okay, that their feelings are valid, and giving them any information that you have learned about what they may be experiencing could be beneficial and help them to calm down in the situation. Step 4 in the first E in the ALGE acronym is encourage seeking professional help. So that could be seeking a therapist, that could be going to talk to their primary care physician, and they can then refer out to the necessary or appropriate professional to help them in their specific situation. Just making sure that you are connecting them with the right resources that can help them to get back on track. And last but not least, step 5, the second E, is encourage self-support and other self-help strategies. So that could be encouraging them to exercise, to meditate, to go to a support group for other people who are experiencing similar situations. All of these things added with the previous 4 steps can help them to feel more normal, more like themselves, and help to improve the situation and help them to get out of this current mental health crisis. Okay, so that's the 5 steps that are taught within mental health first aid. If you'd like more information, I can absolutely do a part 2 and go a little bit more in depth about the types of scenarios that would be considered a mental health crisis and how you could navigate those things. And then if you're interested in looking for a mental health first aid class, I'll include the website mentalhealthfirstaid.org down in the description box. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them below. Happy Mental Health First Aid Month. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and until next time, stay healthy and stay well. Bye.